So there it is, white noise. We listen to it. We love having it on our phones. We love having the app so we don't have to listen to anything else around us so that we can just have noise. And the reason we call it white noise is because all of the spectrum of sound is all the way up and we can't hear anything else. There's no dynamics, there's no chords, there's no notes, there's no tension, there's no resolution, there's no dissonance that we get to hear in music. It's kind of like if you took white light and you put white light through a prism and then you start to see all of the colors. That's what white noise is. When you start to listen to it and you start to hear the symphony, then you can start to hear the different parts. Think of us as a symphony today. You get to hear the different parts. You get to hear the different people. And sometimes there's a solo that you're listening to. And sometimes everybody else is playing the melody. But if we have too much white noise, we don't get to hear any of that. But what about society? What about what happens in society with white noise? What if this conversation, that all we're doing is we're talking at the top of our lungs and everybody's screaming, and you have Facebook and you have Twitter and you have Instagram and you have news sources, and you have blogs and you have people and you have everything talking at this level, you can't hear what people are trying to say. So in society, we have this white noise that's all around us, that always happens. But what can we do with the societal white noise? What can we do to make sure that we hear the conversation? We need to make sure that we hear the different notes and the chords and the harmonies that are there through the white noise. Another part to look at is if we see white light, and as you cast it through the prism, you start to see the different colors that are out there. That's what we need to be doing with our conversations. That's what we need to be doing as we go through our life together. And what I would like to suggest is that we engage in these different things. Just like the notes, just like the different aspects of music, that we use this as a gear, because as you engage something, it starts to move. Amazing things start to happen. Processes get made. Things start to change. So what are we doing to engage in difficult and hard conversations? Excuse me. What are we doing to make sure that we are the ones that are engaging in these things? The first thing that I'd like us to do, and I'd like this to be a crowd participation, if you can sit up in your chair and put your hands on your lap, palms up. Because I think we need to enter into these conversations with our palms up. And you might be asking, well, why? Part of it is brings comfort. Because even as you sit there, there's a sense of peace. There's a sense of that I'm not, and sometimes it's scary, I'm not really in control because my palms are up. It's an amazing thing that happens. You can't argue well with your palms up. You can't do it. It's hard. But if we go into this, it's a sign showing humility. It's a sign showing, you know what, I'm going to let you into this conversation if you let me into part of your conversation. Another part is if you take your palms, bring them to about right here, and do this. You don't know everything. And we don't know everything. But we enter into these conversations. As we go into the conversations, sometimes that's the best way to go into them. The second thing that we need to do is we need to navigate thoughtfully. As we go through these different conversations with people, there are things that happen in our lives that are difficult. We have different people that have gone through different things, and we need to know and to realize the things that I say may trigger something in someone else that isn't pleasant. I need to think of you above myself. I need to make sure you are getting taken care of. We need to navigate through this in a way that's going to help someone. Again, looking at these gears to get something moving, to look at the symphony, to make sure that each person, I'm listening for the right note and making sure I'm not playing too loudly. We navigate thoughtfully. The third one is a little harsh, and I understand that. Sometimes we don't like to hear this, but you need to get over yourself. I need to get over myself. I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers. But when we start talking to different people, we can start listening to different people, listen from the different things that they've had, the different experiences that they've done, and we can start to learn a little bit about each other. And I do have one suggestion as you go through getting over yourself. Hold back on telling everyone just how awesome you are. They'll learn, they'll hear it, they'll see it, but don't tell them right up front. Let them learn, and learn how awesome the other person is that you're having this conversation with. But we do need to just get over ourselves and listen. The A factor in engage is this part of actively listening. Are we truly involved in the conversation at hand? Are we making sure that we're having the right eye contact? Do we smile every once in a while? Here's a hard one for a lot of people. Do you take the earbuds out of your ears, put them in your pocket, and actually have a conversation with the person across from you? Do you take the cell phone and put it in your pocket, turn it on silent, and don't touch it for 20 minutes so that you can actually have the conversation with someone and really, truly listen, learn, experience what they're going through? And know that if you have that conversation, something better is going to come out from it. You may not solve the world's problems, but something better is going to come out from that. The second G is go further. It can't stop in an auditorium like this. It can't even stop with one more conversation. It must keep moving. When you put the gears together, the machine, the thing that's supposed to go, must keep going. The symphony as they play, you don't want to just listen to it and be like, oh, that was good, and just leave it there. You want to talk about it. You want to experience it. You want to see it. You buy the CD. You buy the things. You want to experience time and time and time again. That's the same thing with these hard and difficult conversations. Have them daily. Have them with people you know well. Have them with people you just met. But go further into the conversation and make sure that they understand that you care and it matters. In the last part of this, I'd like us all to put our hands on our lap again, because we exit with palms up. Because even though we might have had a meaningful and difficult and hard conversation, we need to know that we may not even agree when we get done, but we can still like each other. We can still be friends and not agree on everything. But if we engage in the culture, we engage in the conversation, and we make sure that we have the sign of humility that I don't know everything, but I do know that I want to listen and get to know you. It's not easy. Sometimes it's not even fun. But it's what's necessary for society to keep moving and keep moving forward so that we have these ideas and we have these things that we are talking about and listening to and trying to figure out. And that's how things get done. Maybe, just maybe, after some of these conversations, you have a different aspect and a different look on someone around you. Maybe even deeper, you look at someone who doesn't act like you or think like you or talk like you, you might actually be friends. And maybe after each and every conversation that you have, that you make a little bit of a difference in the world around you. You see, the reason we like to go to symphonies is because it feels good. It draws emotion. We love to hear the different chords and the harmony. We love to see that there is dissonance in there and it makes sense and it's nice. And sometimes we feel the tension of that musical piece and we get all worked up for it, and then finally there's a resolution to it. What if that's you? What if that's supposed to be what you do? What if it's that one meaningful conversation that may be very uncomfortable to have, but it makes a difference in somebody's life that completely changes their outcome? Maybe, just maybe, you can be the difference in somebody's life that challenges them to go further than they ever thought they could. Thank you.